Hello and happy Saturday, friends. What is going on? I hope that your Saturday, the last I have before I go back to work now on Monday, is going well. It's pretty quiet around here. All the ladies are asleep, which means while the cat's away, the mice are playing in the little man corner here. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's jump into the chat. Say hello to some friends. We got DJ Wise. I know that he and Bethany were over there watching Sheena and the birthday show crew. That was a whole lot of fun. We got Las Cruces. What's going on, Las Cruces? We got Cliff on comics, one of my channel members. I'm going to show the prize because I'm spinning the wheel today. Cliff has a chance to win that. We got another channel member here. We got, Robert Galvin. What's going on, Mr. G Man? I think he's got a live stream today, and I want to say I think there's a White Gloves live stream after his later today. I'm almost certain. We got Ruben Guzman, Calm Cool Collected. What's going on, Ruby G? Good to see you, sir. And we got Magic Lasso. I think you're working today, but I appreciate you coming by and dropping a little hello. The birthday girl, or one of the birthday girls. What's going on, Lady Fantastic? Happy to see you. I hope your birthday ended up going really well. It sounded like you got some good time with the family, some good food. Coach Vic in the chat. What's going on, Coach Vic? Hope you're doing well today. We got Izzy Verse in the chat. What's going on, Izzy? Happy Saturday. Operation Usurp King John. What? No way. Unneeded, unnecessary. Not going to happen. What are you talking about? We got JP Budget Collected. What's going on, JP? He's hanging in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. And let's see, dropping some awesome emojis. I got some emojis there from the channel members. I hope you're enjoying some of those. Let's see here. Yeah, Monty is at 3 Eastern. Okay, so he's at noon my time. All right. And so it goes me, G-Man, and then Monty a little later. Okay, that makes sense. Rob Boswell is in the chat. What is going on, Rob? I hope you're doing well, man. Happy Saturday. And we got Gore Vidal in the chat. Gore, I wanted to let you know tonight I'm doing a late night movie stream. I think you're going to enjoy it. I got Matt from Mr. Gretzky 6699 or 9966. I can't remember. And we got Carlito Classico. And we are starting a series of probably 5 live streams counting down our 50 personal favorite films. So it'll be a lot of great movie discussions and curious choices and personalities on display. So should be a whole lot of fun. That's tonight. The live stream's already set up, so you can set the notification bell here on my channel if you'd like to do that. You are needed and necessary. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you. Yeah. What's up, Hall? Yeah. Good to see you in the chat. How are things? Let's see. If you come at the king, you best not miss. There it is. There it is. Commieverse, what is going on? Good to see you, sir. Let's see. Mr. Gretzky is good people. I agree. And he really is the like impetus for this. He's been pushing behind the scenes to make this. Carlito and I are at the whim of Matt in a lot of ways, just making him happy, making it work. Late night movie stream, and you're starting at 6 o'clock. You're my time. Yeah, my time, 6 o'clock. Late night for you guys, East Coasters, late night for them. What are you gonna do? But yeah, hello, welcome to Saturday Morning Comics. This is the show that used to be me sitting on a couch with my daughters, but now they're teenagers and they're just sleeping. And so it's me sharing what I've been reading and what I've been doing since the last time we met. Obviously, with the holidays and me being up in the mountains with the worst Wi-Fi in the world, it's been a little challenging to do these shows. So it's been a little while. This is also technically the end of the month. So that means that I'm doing a channel member wheel spin here in a little bit to throw some names into a pot and potentially give away some awesome prizes, including this 1 in 25 Storm variant by Stephanie Hans. The amazing, what I call zebra cover. Look at all the zebras running along. Beautiful. I've already got an element picked for the next box, and I'll let you guys know. So being a channel member, you guys will get some entries, at least one opportunity to win some things. So that's going to happen this episode. I've also got a ton of things I've been reading, my new books that I've picked up recently. So I've got some of those to share with you. So lots of goodies, lots of things to enjoy. Fright Night 4K. That's not going to make my list. My list is surprisingly horror light. My top 50 definitely leans more drama comedy than it does, I would say, horror. I think there's a couple of movies that would probably be in a horror movie section, but most people would be like, yeah, John, that's more of a thriller. Because that tends to be as an adult, as I've aged, my preference. Less horror, more thriller, more suspense. So there you go. All right, the first thing I want to talk about, let's get into some DC reads, some things I've been reading from DC. Not enough people talking about The World's Finest by Wade and Dan Mora. This has been really, really great. And this volume, which is technically volume 4, a Kingdom Come tie-in, throw in, like adjacent storyline, very entertaining. And obviously, Dan Mora is one of the best artists working today, and his stuff is always fantastic. And I try to read anything that he is doing. But this series has been a little bit above that because obviously Mark Waid is a very talented writer. So that combination has been splendid. I will say I like this a lot more than their new series, the Justice League Unlimited that they've started recently is not as good as this. This is volume 4. Like I said, they're I've been buying the hardcovers, the slimmer hardcover editions. Did not love volume 3. Loved volume 1. So 1 and 4 are my favorites. 2 and 3 are good, but that this is where it's at. So this was a very entertaining read. I'm not even usually a big tie-in kind of guy in the sense that, like, I don't want to call this a tie-in. It's more of a it plays off of people who have a little knowledge for Kingdom Come, kind of like Crisis, whatever, those kind of storylines, because they're jumping between dimensions and universes, and in this particular one, they're connecting to the Kingdom Come universe. So if you're a fan of Kingdom Come, this would be even more meaningful probably for you. I just really enjoyed the way it tied into the first hardcover, the first volume of the story. And they're really, really great. So yeah, these are hardcovers, Cliff. I can show you the interior bit if you'd like. So it's got one of these kind of deals going on here where they chose one of the splash pages. And then, so you get all the beautiful Dan Mora artwork done into a hardcover. Really been enjoying these. And yeah, so this is the latest one that they've produced. There's another one coming, I think, in February, volume 5. And I think they've got one scheduled for May or June because they're pretty far behind the publication. This collects through issue 24, and I want to say they're around issue 38 now, something like that. So this is pretty far behind the publication date of the individual issues. But I don't mind being behind. I like kind of reading it in story arcs. And so I've been enjoying them a little bit more in this format. I missed some folks in the chat. Let me roll back up here and say hello to Comic Fan 73. What's going on? Good to see you, sir. And JP is jumping through saying hello to some folks. Jojo from Flicks and Comics has been trying to convince Carlito and myself to watch Fright Night. I see. I get it. Jojo is a big horror fan. I get it. I'm not. I was as a young man long ago, but not so much anymore. All these West Coast nerds are my friends, and they're slowly forcing me onto West Coast. I will say, I tend to feel like I live a normal East Coast time frame, so that I'm awake at 8 a.m. East Coast, and I'm ready for bed by midnight East Coast. Like I live a midnight to 8 sleeping East Coast time system. But for a West Coast person, that's a little odd. I understand. People think I'm strange. We got Legion of Comics. What's going on, Mark? He said, someone say hardcover editions. That's my cue. Overall, I'm an omnibus guy now. I know Mark recently snagged an incredible omnibus, and I'm curious as he reads through it just to kind of hear the highlights of it. It's not one that I would normally have collected, but I'd love to see his perspective on it. Halya says, I dropped my World's Finest after Mora left. Followed him to Justice League Unlimited. And I get that. And I'm probably only going to collect these hardcovers through the Mora storylines and then kind of stop at that point. That's my plan, at least. Lady F says, I've been reading Dune prequels about the machine war. That's where I'm deep diving. Super cool concepts. I've got to read the first Dune book. It's on my shelf. I got a nice hardcover. I don't know what printing it is, but it's an older printing of Dune, and I'm excited to read it at some point. It's just daunting. It's very daunting. Um, Return to KC was amazing. The most fierce I've seen Dark Side in years. Yeah, the Dark Side sequences in that World's Finest storyline, because when he shows up, it's almost a joke how everybody struggles to even like deal with him. He just kind of like walks calm and slow through it, and they have to deal with it. It's really great. Yeah, really great sequences. We got Bruce from Kingdom of Nerds. What's going on, Bruce? Good to see you, sir. I saw this as well. I saw this as well, ADF. Air Spider's in the chat. What's going on? Air Spider. Yes, JoJo lives and breathes horror. That is her thing. Absolutely her thing. Brian LCS was just live with Cliff a little bit ago. I was in and out of their chats. They were dual streaming, and so I was making sure I was hitting the like button in all the different streams for those guys. So hopefully you caught a little bit of that this morning. They had some great discussions going on. The Reverend Bleeker. Not only do I always highlight and remind people to see his Sunday show, but he was on with Biggie Shack last night, and Bleeker, that was hilarious. Biggie Shack had a panel on, and they were reviewing I don't know, it was like Bleeding Cool website list of the 100 greatest comic book covers of all time. And the panel, God bless them, was basically reviewing it, criticizing it, and then like editing it live. And it was crazy. Alan was on there, Steppa was on there, Bleeker was on there, D-Runk started on there and then fell asleep and was snoring through portions of it. It was quite hilarious, and I was really enjoying that stream last night. It was very entertaining. I just highly recommend if people want to go back go back and catch it. I've been reading Dark Horse Conan comics. Gary B does that to people. That's he gives you homework when you're on his shows. He gives you homework. What is up, Kevin? Changed his logo, new Entropy and Comics logo. Nice to see that. How you doing, Kev? Darkseid literally keeps his hands behind his back. I mean, yeah, he just sort of strolls through, uses those Omega beams, and that's all he needs, right? What's up, Graphic Man? Good to see you, sir. Let's see who else we got. Everybody's talking. DC is killing my wallet right now. They are doing very good stuff these days, and my friend Chris from Lost in Comics did 2 videos, shaming Marvel for where it's at these days, and they deserve the shame. The first one was about the state of Batman in DC right now, and he's obviously ecstatic. He's feeling very happy about where Batman is right now. I'm a Batman fan. I know I take shots at Batman, but I haven't been pleased with Batman in a while. I keep trying to enjoy Ram V's Detective, read a little bit, and then I instantly get bored and frustrated. I read a little bit, so I'm about a year behind on Detective because I keep trying it and it gets disappointing. Chip Zdarsky's Batman was a little too goofy for me. Once he fell from outer space and survived, I was kind of like, okay, maybe this is just not for me. And then, of course, you put Scott Snyder on a Batman book, and I'm probably the wrong audience for it. I just walked away. This absolute Batman is too much. It's too goofy for me. It's too silly for me. It feels like Bruce Campbell comedy to me, where he's like, oh, and I got an axe on my chest and I drive a giant garbage truck Batmobile, and it's just a little much. It makes it makes Frank Miller look tame, and that's concerning. It should concern you. It concerns me. So I kind of fell off of the absolute Batman as a result. It's a little much for me. It's a little much. We got Canadian Survivalist in the chat. What's going on, Survivalist? How you doing? How's it in the Great White North? Hopefully, not too cold for you. And Tom Taylor's Detective Comics is already standing up to my belief that Detective Comics is always pound for pound the best monthly Batman on shelves. I have not even tried it yet. I'm concerned. I'm scared. We'll see. I agree that the DC is putting out way better quality because they have way better talent, and they're investing in that talent better than I think Marvel has in a long while. I just don't necessarily like the direction they take Bruce. I feel like for a while now, Bruce has been in an odd place, and I just don't know that I've enjoyed it so much. Izzy says, to be honest, Marvel is at a low. Yeah, and I don't think Disney cares as much. DC is riding a momentum right now. I agree, but I don't necessarily feel like I like the Batman stuff. The Superman stuff I've dabbled in, I've enjoyed. The Wonder Woman stuff I've dabbled in, I've loved. The Birds of Prey I've been reading, the Poison Ivy I've been reading. There's a lot of really great DC stuff that I've been loving. But the Batman stuff just really isn't working for me. The either Batman has no money anymore and Alfred is dead stuff. I don't get it and I don't like it. Um, and then the alt universe stuff, take it or leave it. It is what it is. There's only been a couple of titles I've loved, and usually it's because Mark Waid or somebody like that is working on like Batman and Robin Year One. If you guys haven't been reading that, it's been really good. But again, I think it's more of a Dick Grayson story, so maybe that's why it works better for me. I don't know. We shall see. Let's see. It's cold here. Okay. I didn't see any comments from Bleeker about that stream last night. Maybe he's trying to take it easy this morning. I mean, it was intense. It was funny seeing the two Golden Age guys, Steppo and Alan, like fighting for all these Golden Age covers, and everybody's like, "I don't know that cover." I'm the same way. Like they could have held up 10 Good Girl covers, and I'd be like, I don't know any of those. 10 pre-code horror covers, and I'd be like, I don't know those. But it was very funny last night. Batman Beyond was the best iteration. I mean, I love Batman Beyond, the cartoon. I've never read the comics, but I love the cartoon. Taylor seems to be on a course correction arc. I like that, but that means I've got to like read through a slog as he gets things back to where he wanted it to be. I guess I don't know. Terry is a lot more fun for sure. But again, he's more in between Bruce and Dick Grayson. That's why I think he's probably more fun. Revisiting Born Again, great storyline. Yeah, it's a great storyline. Always good stuff. Tom Taylor, not Tom King. I mean, I liked Tom King's Batman well enough, but it was, it reminds me of Snyder's Batman. It's just highs and lows, roller coaster. I think it's the problem of having two issues having to drop a month. Like that's just a grueling pace. Year One is good. I agree. Rod is in the chat. I'm sorry I missed you saying hello, Rod. How you doing, my guy? And yeah, it's Batman and Robin Year One, and I think they're 4 issues deep. And that one has been a very entertaining Batman series. I've really enjoyed that one a ton. It is true, and I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Those dudes suck at best conversations. There it is. That's what I wanted from Bleeker. That's what I wanted the Reverend to say. It was funny though. It was very entertaining. And shout out to Biggie Shack for having that stream last night. It was very, very entertaining. Hasn't stopped me from picking up Marvel back issues. See that's a smart place to put your money right now. And there's a couple of titles I've enjoyed at Marvel this last year, but it's a struggle to find a couple. Just that many. Literally haven't bought any new Marvel for a while. All DC right now on my pull list. I mean that makes sense. I don't blame you. Don't blame you. I remember lots of crybabies when he was writing. Tom King does create crybabies. I mean, let's be honest. He's not for everybody. Mark and I tend to really like his stuff, although his Batman may be my least favorite thing he's done. So just take that. Bonjour to Jean Malo in the chat. How you doing, Jean? Good to see you, sir. King was solid until the non-wedding, and then he lost the thread. I mean, yeah, that was definitely part of what derailed him was the editorial overseers, manipulating what was going on. So that definitely has an impact for sure. So let's talk a little bit about stuff that I've been reading beyond the world's finest. I finally caught up on grommets. So for those that don't know, let's share this. Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, Brett Pearson. This is a dramedy centered around 1980s Central California skateboard culture. which is something I'm familiar with. Although I was more Southern California than Central California, this definitely hits a lot of nostalgia memory buttons for me. There's a lot of things that are very true to my experience. So I read the first 6 issues that have been published. There is a 7th coming in January, I believe. Uh, but the focus of the series is really on these kids and their lives and issues with parenting or parents that aren't really around, bullying, trying to balance, love for skating and friends with schoolwork. And there's definitely some violence going on in these storylines. I got this one signed by Rick Remender. I didn't get it signed, actually. My LCS took it up to LA Comic Con and got it signed, and I bought it. And then issue 6. So yeah, Grommets, I spent time reading because, as Hall Ya is saying, it's definitely a book that a lot of people are putting on their best of the year, and I don't blame them. It's a very entertaining read. But here's my here's my mental challenge I've got. If a series is not done and they've got 1 or 2 or whatever issues left, I feel like it belongs in next year's best of. Does anybody agree with that? Or maybe I'm crazy about that. So there's this book, and then I caught up on Deviant by James Tynion, and in both cases, they have 1 more issue left to publish. It drives me crazy. So I feel like the ending isn't there. I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know. Is it gonna drop the ball right at the end? Is it going to be an absolute failure, or is it going to be like the best book in the world and I'll regret not include? It's tricky. So both of those are incredibly entertaining titles. It looks like Cliff loves Deviant, but not necessarily Grommets. The challenge for me is I tend to prefer a book that actually ends during the calendar year versus like, oh, it's got 2 or 3 issues left to go. So last year, everybody was talking about Traveling to Mars, and I had 3 or 4 issues left to read, and then they were waiting for 2 or 3 that were going to come in 2024. So I held back. I read it in 2024 when the final issues were being dropped, and it's going to be on my list of the best of 2024. But some people put it on 2023. It's all about where that thing lines up. So in the case of Deviant and Grommets, I'm tempted to wait and include them in a 2025 list because that's when they will end. Isn't that a tricky thing to balance? It's tricky. This is very true, Cliff. So let's jump over. So I'm going to jump to that next, Cliff. Give me a half a second on that one. They sell skateboards for grommets. Yes, grommets are often what we would call, at least when I was growing up, what we would call young kids. Whether it was in the surf culture or in the skateboard culture, we would call the little kids grommets. Jean was the only survivor of FOC and Chill. That was very funny. I do agree. Beckerman did a very good job with that. Let's see. So Grommets was very entertaining. They capture the culture beautifully. There's a wonderful use of setting, and that really enriches it. It gave me vibes of Dazed and Confused. I know that Gore was in the chat, so it gives me Dazed and Confused vibes. In that it really feels steeped in a place and time. That really resonated strongly with me. What's going up? Tacoma Comics in the chat saying happy birthday to Lady F, who had her birthday yesterday. Was it yesterday, Lady F? Was it the 3rd? So Grommets, yeah, really was an effective piece. But I'm hesitant to put it on the best of the year when it still has books left to be published. That's the tricky part. And same with Deviant. It's been a book that I've loved all year long, but it still has an issue left to be published. So do you call it the best of the year when it's unfinished and there's 1 issue left, and it's a mini series, it's ending, it's not ongoing like Local Man or something like that? John, Put it on top of my read list once the trade comes out. Okay, there you go. So Grommets and Deviant, I would put Deviant up there too as two books that I think if they had put their last issue in December and not January, I would be genuinely talking about them as contenders for the best of the year. Both of them, really, really great. And I liked both of them more than the book everybody is touting as the best of the year, which is the Beneath the Trees. Where is it? Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees. A lot of people calling this the best book of the year, and I don't dislike it in any way, but I like Deviant and Grommets more than that, and they're not done yet. This was an interesting book. I jokingly said that it's Richard Scarry meets Dexter. If you've watched the show Dexter or read a Richard Scarry children's book, you get kind of the sensibility. The story is basically Darkly Dreaming Dexter or whatever those books are called. I've read a couple of them, or the television series if you've watched Dexter. Um, it's basically that plot, right? A murderer, a serial killer who is hunting a serial killer, and in a small town while trying to maintain a facade and yet also trying to release this dark monster inside of them to serve a purpose. But it's done within the style, the appearance and look of like a Richard Scarry children's book, right? So that's how I equate it. I will say I like it a lot more than Stray Dogs, and I know that Stray Dogs has its huge fan base. I felt like Stray Dogs was a little bland. Stray Dogs is I think the comparison I heard for Stray Dogs was it was Silence of the Lambs done by Don Bluth, which it's fair. Like it's fair. I think Beneath the Trees is a better read. If I were to compare Beneath the Trees and Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs, I think I gave it like a B. It was fine. Nothing special. Beneath the Trees, I would say is more closer to B plus A minus territory and a better read and more impressive considering that it's Patrick Horvath's first comic, and he is writing and drawing it. It is an impressive piece considering all of that. For those that don't know, this is going to be the next giveaway for the upcoming month. I've got the trade signed by writer-artist Patrick Horvath, and I'm going to give this away next month. So I was going to wait on that, but there it is. He's grading now. Oh, lady, fantastic. You have no idea. Yeah. So JB hates Stray Dogs, but it looks like a lot of people, Hall and Cliff, commenting they loved Beneath the Trees. I agree, Tacoma, that the show Dexter went on a little bit longer than is needed, but that is part of the current culture of television in a lot of ways. That once they own your property, they're going to keep churning it out if there's money to be made. Right? Cliff mentioned this series, and I will go one step more than Cliff. Cliff was saying that this is just one of the best reads right now. I will say it's the best thing that either of the big two is producing. You take all of Marvel, you take all of DC, you throw them in a pot. This is still the best book, I think, being produced by either one. It's not a huge compliment considering what I just said about Marvel earlier, but it is a compliment when you consider DC and all the great titles they're producing. I think this is easily the best. It's just absolutely riveting. Artwork is so phenomenal. Daniel Sampier is just a top-notch artist. Tom King is hard to beat when he's got an idea, when he's really fixated on a concept of what he wants to do. The Lasso of Lies idea is so strong. The use of all the other Wonder Women. This issue in particular focuses on Detective Chimp, and he gets a lot to do here, and he is really used effectively. It's absolutely fantastic, and I laughed a few times in this just watching Detective Chimp find the truth about the villains behind this whole plot. Sorry, my My allergies are still driving me crazy from being up in the mountains. So apologizing about that. But this has been spectacular. So or should I say sensational? Wonder Woman absolutely going to be a book to discuss at the end of 2024, especially for me, in my opinion. Absolutely phenomenal. So love this. So I will say this is a great question, but there's lots of people giving Wonder Woman some love. I love that. Oops, Miss Scotty Vaughn in the chat. What's going on? That's Vaughn. Uh, he's been doing some great videos as well. If you're not subbed up to Scotty Vaughn, I don't know why. He's blowing up. He's doing great things. You should be checking him out though. Ian said, "What about Gail Simone's Uncanny? Best Uncanny since Claremont." I gave all of those new X titles like 2 issues, and none of them impressed me. Now, it doesn't mean they're not good or that I don't need to go back and reread some of those and give them a shot. But I will say I gave all of them X Factor, X Force, uh, Exceptional X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, adjective free X-Men. Like I gave all of them at least 2 issues, and I think all of them disappointed me. None of them felt vital. None of them felt exciting. None of them felt interesting to me. They all just kind of felt rote, common, typical. It just felt bland to me, like a meal I've already eaten, but they forgot to season properly. So I've had it before, and it just doesn't have any flavor. Now, obviously, I'm biased, but I've enjoyed Storm obviously more than those books. But it's not a team book. It's not a typical X book. In fact, it feels more like an Avengers adjacent book in a lot of ways. So it's the only one of the current mutant related titles that are all connected, that I've really enjoyed. Ultimate X-Men, I think, doesn't get enough love. I think Ultimate X-Men by what is her name? Peach. Thank you. Peach Momoko has been very good. And I've been very entertained by that, but it also doesn't feel like an X book. It feels adjacent to that. It feels different. And I'm fine with that. I kind of like that it's original and different and creative. And I really enjoyed Ultimate X-Men. And Peach Momoko's got an interesting thing to say about teenagers, about mental health, about that unaliving self kind of concept, because it's very prevalent in her regions of Asia, and I think it's very interesting to me the things that she's trying to say about culture and about society and about mental health. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. But I want to go back through these comments because there's some people saying a lot of love for Gail Simone's X-Men, and they're people that I respect. So maybe I need to give it another shot. This is not the adjective free one. This is Uncanny, which is that the, tell me it's not the Cyclops one. Is it the Cyclops one? Oh, gosh, I hope it's not. Makes me feel like a teenager again. You're right. The familiarity is hard to get right. I think Gail does it. Okay. Is that the Cyclops one? Uncanny X-Men is not an X-Men. Ultimate X-Men is not an X-Men book. It is not but it is a mutant book. Yes, exactly. I think a different title, fine. But for me, that's just window dressing. Like I don't really care. I'm more interested in just the quality, and the quality is in there. It's in the pages. Like the quality is wonderful. I love the art. I love the story. I love what she's doing, and I don't think she's getting enough love because the people just don't like the title, like, which is silly to me. Like, it's just a title. Like, just read the book. I think it's a good book. Well, John, I'm not mad at you. All right, I'm just disappointed. Hello to Inja Binja. She was trying to hold it down with that crazy birthday show the other day. I hope you're having a good Saturday. I hope things are going well. X-Men and X-Men related books aren't selling very well. They aren't selling well, and they're not written very well. They're not doing very well. So all that's true. Off for a weekend adventure. Snowpocalypse. Okay, good luck with that. Stay safe. Give Gail a chance. I'll tell you what, Lady F. Today, I'll go back and I'll read the rest of that run. It's not the Cyclops one. Is this the Gambit, Rogue, Wolverine, Louisiana one. Is that one? I can't keep them straight. Let's see here. It's the Rogue one. Okay, good. Okay, that's the good one. It's the good one. He's Barf. I really didn't want it to be. I really didn't want it to be that one. Uncanny is Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and a bunch of teams. Okay, that makes it more likely. Yes, Louisiana run. Don't give me that Cyclops. People trying to really push this concept that Cyclops was right. I don't know if you guys have seen the shirts, the logos, whatever. Cyclops was right. Get out of here with this trash. Get out of here. He wouldn't know if he was right because he'd have to wait for Professor Xavier to tell him if he was right. That's how wrong he is. Just telling you. That made me giggle. So okay, I will give that book a shot. I'll catch up on it. I'll catch up on that one first. Cyclops has never been right a day in his life. Send me issue 1. I lost my copy. I think I have issue 1. So yeah, that's the only one I actually bought. That's the only one I think I own. I thought it was funny. What's up, Paul? Good morning to Paul. Big O. I will get to Sarah J. Maas here in a little bit. We'll get to the Maas verse at some point. After I go to the gym, I'm down. Okay. Hit that gym, hit those New Year's resolutions. I do need to do more of that myself as well. Let's continue with the reading. I've also been reading and catching up on Batman Full Moon. This is the Rodney Barnes werewolf themed Bat book with some really fun glow in the dark covers. I don't know if people have seen these, but they glow in the dark. Some of the variants, are these the B covers? I can't remember. They glow in the dark. Really cool. So enjoying it. It's just a fun. I mean, it's not breaking the bank. It's not some magical, wow, mind blowing new thing. It's just fun. It's exactly what you expected to be, a Batman werewolf story. This new issue threw in, see, Zatanna. I want to say you got a little Hellblazer. You got, of course, you got Man Bat, Dr. Langstrom appearing. So definitely some fun going on in this series. If you want a little Halloween mixed with your Batman, this is the title I think you would enjoy. Rodney Barnes, of course, massively talented. Love Rodney Barnes, and an incredibly great person on top of being just really talented as a writer. So I had to go and collect those and read those up. But I've been enjoying that as just I'm not usually a big Elseworlds guy, but it's more just Rodney Barnes, and I like his stuff. I think he's just really great. The rowing machine. I've got a rowing machine. I have no muscle memory for those bits. I got the rowing machine tier 2 and some weights. I just need to use them more often. Need to put it to work. By the way, thanks for the feedback I asked for regarding my new show format. The show is doing really well. That is awesome. Again, Izzyverse is doing really great stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed to Izzy, definitely check his things out. He's been doing really great content. Community members involved, alternatives to typical speculation kind of stuff, which I am a big fan of that. I don't go in on spec related stuff. I think it's more entertaining to have discussions around the quality of the story writing and the art in the books and the substance of the books. So that's why I like Izzy. So yeah, there's a Batman one. And then lastly, this week I really only had that book, Full Moon, and this book on my pull list because it's Poison Ivy, yo. Even with her snowboard, this is practical, right? That's a practical outfit to go snowboarding in right there. That's what I would wear to snowboard. Just leaves, just some leaves. Some great variants for this new issue number 29 of Poison Ivy, which I've done a video recently on catching up on Poison Ivy because it is wonderful. The story has been as good as these covers. Absolutely amazing. Love a good Jenny Frison variant, and she's doing just a bang up job on all of these. I even got the 1 in 25, which I need to put in a Mylar. These 1 in 25s are gorgeous. I'll get a little closer for you there. Just creepy, cool. And they're getting great artists to do the variants as always. So yes, Poison Ivy now at number 29. And I read that one, not her giving me Mira vibes. I mean, she is doing the Mira vibe for sure. The gardening one, I love the plant. Oops, I hit the mic, John. I love the if you don't notice, the little like feed me Seymour. The little shop of horrors plants at the bottom there, cracking me up as she's playing in the garden with. I'm assuming that that's Harley. Gives me Harley vibes, but Harley with shorter hair. I don't know who that's supposed to be, but yeah, really, really great. So good, so entertaining, and it's just been a very entertaining series to read overall. This new arc has her in Gotham. It has good use of Killer Croc, good use of Harley, good use of, is it Jan from HR? I really liked her. So very entertaining, very, very entertaining. Janet, sorry, it could be Janet from HR. It could be Janet from HR because they've had a little thing going. Still an Ivy issue ahead of me. At some point, this post office will give me my books. I mean, good luck. Good luck. I hope so. But worth the reading. I sent a few. I bought the first 2 or 3 trade paperbacks and sent them to Mars. I'm excited to hear her thoughts on the series as well. So I sent Mars a little Christmas care package. I think she's feeling a desire to get back into comics, and I know she's missed the last couple of years. And so I went through and just snagged up a bunch of things that I think she's going to enjoy. So I'm hopeful we'll get some content from Mars because we all love her and we want more from her in the future. We got Madam in the chat. Madam, how are you doing? I hope you're working on some great sculpture, some piece of artwork in the studio there this morning. She is an incredibly talented artist. If you guys don't know Madam, I don't know how you miss out on that because she's just a very talented lady. So always producing some kind of a great piece of art. So I hope your Saturday's kicking off well. So lastly, I got some books that I've been buying. Let's see here. Yes. Because I always like to add to my trade paperback giveaway collection. And I've got more than I probably should have. A lot. So when I spin the wheel here in a little bit and we have a winner, I'm going to let that winner choose from all the trades I've got over there. Plus, I'm adding in a few new ones. I got a Spider-Man Life Story. My LCS sells these kinds of things for half off, so I got this one for $12. Life Story, so good. Shadow Doctor, which I thought was a great indie, really powerful, true story, Al Capone era crime-related story, so good. That was from Aftershock, I think, yeah. The Fourth Man, one of my favorite reads from a couple of years ago, a good Coen Brothers-esque crime story centered around a used car dealership. Really, just really great stuff. This is an AWA book, really great. This one's going to be for me. I got to read it first, but then I'll probably add it over. The Jeff Lemire Complete Collection of Moon Knight. Never read it before. I'll probably read it and then throw it into my giveaway box at some point. So this will eventually make its way over there. And then because it's hot right now and they had it for 50% off, I got the volume 1, right? Yeah, of All-Star Superman. This is the Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely storyline. So good. So this is an option. So I'll have that in there. Excuse me. My prize winner today can choose from one of those or from all the other ones I've got. So many. Some Claremont X-Men collected editions, some great Batman trade paperbacks and stuff. So lots of stuff. Indies, Marvel, DC, all of it. So let's do the first wheel spin because it'll take me a while to set up the second one. The first wheel spin has 7 people on it. Let's share that screen. This is again for people that are members of the channel. And these are the folks in the New Mutants tier, the lower tier. I'm going to spin it twice and pull 2 people off to get into the main wheel. So these people get like minis, right? They win the mini. I'm going to shuffle them a few times. I got Conlon, I got Legion, I got Dr. Doom Stew, sorry. I got Mark Spector Dave. I got Perry and TK together on one because they're using their channel that they work together on. I mentioned Cliff, I think, and I got Brian LCS. So let's spin and pull one name off of here. Make sure I remember who I'm getting. Let's see who we got. It's going to be Dave. Dave, I'm going to shuffle 1, 2, 3 more times. The way this works is I choose one person for every 5 in my New Mutants group. So I've got 7, so that means I did this twice. Is it going to be Legion? It's going to be Mark. Congrats, Mark. All right. So I'm going to, let's see, remove him. I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to build a new wheel with Legion and Mark Spector on there. Mark and Mark, isn't that funny? But it's Mark and Dave technically. And then I'm going to add in all my other folks. What is going on, gang? Hopefully you guys could see all that. I realized I didn't really take the time to even check. But as a reminder, this is how you get on the wheel every month. I'm doing a giveaway now. So this, so many names. Rob Boswell is the only coalition member, and so he gets on there twice. All my New Mutants folks, they get a chance to re-randomized and get on. So 2 of them got on this time around. But then all my X-Men squad people, they get on there 1 time a piece. So I got X11. I've got Old Wolf. Let's see who else we got. Got JP and Robert and Zero. JP and Robert. If I can spell it right. Robert the G-Man. Let's see. I got Bearded Carlito and Circumstances. Carlito and Marcus. And let's see here who else we got. We got Coach Vic, Jean Malot, and Aggressively. Jean and Aggro. Ooh. And that leaves Lisa Noble, James Willie, and Southern Comic Geek. Now, James Willie, let's see, is in he is in Canada, so that might be a trickier one. And then Southern Comic Geek Jason, Southern Comic Geek. All righty. Let's remove that for the wheel. But yeah, you can get on here, and every month I'll be doing this giveaway, so you get a shot at winning that. Yeah, you're not here, Craig. Get out of here. You're not here. What's going on? Let's see. So good. I'm editing a video with All-Star Superman right now. I mean, it's hot right now. It's very popular. It's worth doing right now. I think a lot of people are curious about that storyline who have never read it. And it's a great read. If you've never read All-Star Superman, I highly recommend it. I think it's 3 of these larger trade volumes all told. And I want to say I've read all 3. I know I've read the first 2 and really enjoyed it. Really, really great stuff. All right, so let's present the wheel now. The new wheel randomizer, and we'll share it. Hopefully that comes up. All right, there it is. And let's see. I'm gonna shuffle the names a few times. Rob Boswell is the only one on there twice. And if you're not in the United States, I'll just ask you, maybe you help me with some of the shipping on that, because Canada's going to be expensive, James Willie, or you can prize tag it. You can give it away to somebody else if you'd rather. So let's spin the wheel and see who won this month's prize. Is it going to be Robert Galvin or Zaro? Oh, it's right on the line. Zarobinski, Pope Media. What is going on, Mr. Z? And I do have your shipping information, I believe. We've done this before. So congrats to Zarobinski. Zaro is the big winner. He gets to choose from the trade paperback pile. He gets that Storm 1 in 25. So that's coming to him. So I will be hooking up and checking in with Zarobinski. So congrats. But you can be in the next round. The next round includes that trade paperback for Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, signed by writer-artist Peter Horvath. So if you would like to be in on that, just be a channel member. As long as you're a channel member in the next month here, you get that shot. You get that shot to win. Let's see. Lastly on my list, let's talk a little bit about some other stuff I've been reading. Because I know what JP is hanging out waiting for. He's like, when is John going to get to this? Ooh, baby. I've got 3 issues, I think, left to read, something like that, in Wonder Woman Volume 1 by George Perez. Such a fun read. I've been really enjoying this omnibus. I don't almost want it to end because volumes 2 and 3, If you don't know, out of print. You can't get those omnis, those hardcovers. You can't get them. So time to find a way to get a bargain if you can find it on the sly on the cheap. But this has been a really wonderful read. Perez, obviously, on art and on writing, doing a really phenomenal job of rebooting, reimagining, re-engineering the universe of Wonder Woman. My wife's bringing me coffee and laughing at me. I have tea. Yes, I doubled up. So now I got the coffee. Good morning to you too. Mm. Wow, really good. So there you go. I have my coffee and my tea. I've doubled up. But this has been great, and I'm excited to get together with JP at some point. He's finished reading it, so he's like he wants to do the live stream and get together, and he and I need to chat at some point, maybe after or before D&D on Sunday to come up with a plan. But you can expect a live stream Perez discussion with Magic Lasso included at some point. I think I'm supposed to host it, but we can chat about that as well. 9-panel grid. What's going on, Eric? Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. I hope things are going well. We're discussing Wonder Woman by George Perez. I've only ever read a handful of issues from the Perez era of Wonder Woman. So to sort of have them all in context, in order, was wonderful, and it really experienced it in a different way. So I was very pleased with it and how it came out, and I'm excited one day to get into volume 2, although I know that he stops doing the artwork after this volume. He's just writing the story. And I've heard, I guess, mixed feelings about Wonder Woman after he stops drawing it. Some people saying, "Oh no, they come up with they have some very good talent that they rotate through that really do a good job of kind of keeping a consistency without Perez." And other people have said it's just not the same. And I can understand both sides, but I think it feels to me from the outside like the complaints about Uncanny X-Men after Burn. And I like Uncanny X-Men after Burn, so I have no problem with it. I like the Paul Smith stuff. I like the Cockrum stuff. I even like some of the John Romita stuff. Not all of it. Nobody's perfect, but it feels inconsistent, and I feel like this is, I'm excited to see what other artists are able to do, knowing that it might not live up, right? Steve is in the chat. Ahoy to you, Captain Comics. I hope things are going well for you this Saturday. Cheers and happy Saturday. All right, that's what I needed. So yeah, my Saturday and my Sunday are going to be spent finishing this Wonder Woman volume, reading through there's a few books I have not been able to read yet from 2024. I need to catch up on. I'm reading Green Arrow. I'm trying to read at least a couple of story arcs in Green Arrow, and I know that this current volume has some big fans. I will say I've read 4 issues and not been very impressed, and I don't know if that's just because I'm not a Green Arrow fan. I haven't read very much of it, so I don't connect to it emotionally, just on a base level. But I'm giving it a shot because I do have friends that I really trust that are giving me the thumbs up, like this is a great run of Green Arrow. So I'm going to give it a couple of story arcs just to see how that goes. I tried Plastic Man No More, the Black Label series by Christopher Cantwell. Didn't love it. It was all right. Let's see what else I'm trying to catch up on. I'm somebody help me with the Ultimates, or even any of the Ultimate universe right now at Marvel. The only one I seem to in any way care about is the Peach Momoko X-Men. Like, I'm not the Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, maybe I need to go back and try it again. The concept hasn't hooked me. I just way too much time with Ben and J. Jonah Jameson just sitting around talking about the news world. Like, it's just boring. And I struggle with it. So like Ultimate Spider-Man's not doing it for me. The Ultimates, I read the first issue of the Ultimates. It felt like 90% exposition. Like they were just telling me the story. I was bored. The Ultimates was killing me. And people were like, "Oh, it's one of the best books of the year." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this first issue is like pulling teeth." I that first issue, like every page of that first issue was this them explaining the plot. I was like, "Oh my god, this book just keeps going. It just keeps going." I was waiting for something exciting to happen, but they're just telling me, "Oh, that's Thor and he's been injured." And that happened in this other issue. "Oh, that's Doctor Doom, but it's not really Doctor Doom. It's like Reed Richards." But like that was from another issue. And it was just like a ton of exposition. Like, let me catch you up. Like, what are you doing? It was so bad. Get to issue 4. Oh my god, that's scary. That's a sign of horrible writing. You got to read 4 issues before it gets good. Like, oh my god. That's my problem with the Ultimate Universe is almost all these titles feel like, yeah. Give them $35 and they'll finally start getting good. It feels like a pyramid scheme. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm struggling with the Ultimate Universe, and I'm a Marvel guy, and I love the original Ultimate Spider-Man is fantastic. You know, Bendis and Bagley, and I've got all the hardcovers. I love it. This just feels like a pyramid scheme to me. But because 9-panel grid says it, I'm gonna try to get through issue 4 this weekend of Ultimate. I'm doing Uncanny X-Men for Lady Fantastic and Ian. Apparently, I'm doing Wonder Woman for Magic Lasso and JP, but mostly for me. And out of the Ultimates, I'm gonna try to go a little further. But man, it's that first issue was, I mean, it was nearly awful. Like it was painful to read that issue. I was like, every page I'd turn and it would just be giant boxes of like, oh, and this happened in this book, and this happened over here in that book. And by the way, this is the backstory for this. And it's like, guys, if you can't like do an issue 1 where I feel like I'm in it and I'm excited, like what is going on? Read what you like. I'm good with it. I love you, Izzy. I can't believe that was their issue number 1, like launch book. I was like, half of the issue number 1 was just telling me stuff that happened in other books. Can't vote for Big O. Not this week. Uh-oh. What's going on? Cap is talking, running around trying to find covers to Cover Slingers. Ooh, okay, Cover Slingers. Getting ready for Cover Slingers. Very exciting. Red issue 1. Don't like it. Move on. Wait for the review. Catch the trade later. Oh, you guys are cracking me up. So that's most of what I've been reading. Not a ton as far as watching. I haven't had time for watching a ton of things. I've watched a few movies with my girls. They saw a few movies, like we watched Little Miss Sunshine for the very first time. The girls loved it, had a great time watching that. What were they watching last night? Oh, Empire Records, back to 1996 with Renee Zellweger and Liv Tyler. Classic. So we watched that one. So they've been catching up on some oldies. Had some popcorn last night and watched Empire Records. So yeah, it was a lot of good fun, a lot of good laughs. Tonight, as a reminder, I am doing a live stream and we're discussing the top 50 movies that we love personally. Carlito Classico, Mr. Gretzky, Matt, and myself. So we are going to be sharing our favorite films of all time, and we're doing it in little 10 movie blocks. So tonight is 50 through 41. It'll be me, Matt, and Carlito, and we're going to go through and discuss some of those films that we watch a lot, that we have a lot of passion and love for. Not necessarily the historically greatest films of all time. Don't expect Citizen Kane or Gone with the Wind to show up more than likely. I would assume that those guys, and myself included, wouldn't have those on their list. Don't expect a lot of foreign films. I think I'm the only one with a foreign film anywhere in the top 50. So I'm sure Gore will be a little bit disappointed by that. But these are films that we will tend to rewatch again and again and again. So movies that we have a lot of passion and love for. So I will not say Big Trouble made my list, but I will say that John Carpenter does show up somewhere on my list. We got John Castle in the chat. What's going on, sir? How are you doing? How's Castle's Corner? If you guys aren't following Castle, obviously he does stuff with Bueller. He's doing stuff on his own. He's got the Castle's Corner regularly on Instagram that I'm usually sharing to my story. But John's great and has great knowledge and passion. I love the passion John's got for comics, and a huge, huge joy whenever I'm watching his stuff. So yeah, that's tonight on my channel. Movie talk, late night if you're on the East Coast, or dinner time if you're on my coast. Lots of good stuff to enjoy. So lots of fun talk, favorite movies. I posted on my Instagram late last night some filmmakers will be represented consistently on my list. Those Hitchcocks, right? Spielbergs, some of those gentlemen whose work time and again has been invigorating or ground making for me. And I think you can expect a lot of that kind of stuff. How can anyone take you seriously when Big Trouble in Little China isn't on your list? It's a great question, Bleak. I don't know if you can possibly answer such a thing. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Blasphemy. I will say I've got Carpenter on my list at least once, maybe twice, on my top 50. Bleak is right. There you go. Happy to share, John. Happy to share, man. But that's tonight on my YouTube channel. In between now and then, I will be in and out of chats, hanging out, having a laugh with you all. I know that Cliff is going to be on Only Slabs today, so I'm going to be in that chat. I know Robert Galvin's about to go live here in about 20 minutes, and I'm going to be in and out of that chat. And then, of course, when Monty goes live over on Splash Page Comics, I'm going to be in his chat as well. Always very entertaining. And that Christmas background that he still got up is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Do I have Dumb and Dumber? I don't know that Jim Carrey makes an appearance, Jason, on my list. I don't know. I'd have to rethink that through. I don't think I've got a Jim Carrey film on the list. Shocking. Shop for Comics is in the chat, which means, let's see, I got to make sure I show something from the guy. Look at, there it is. Me and my daughters taking over the city. It's also right here. It's always right there. Always right there behind me. Good to see you, Shop. I hope your Saturday is going well, sir. Eternal Sunshine is a great film. A great film. I just don't know that it's one that I would rewatch. I'm trying to think of the Jim Carrey movie that I would rewatch most of all. Oof. Is it Ace Ventura? I mean, it might be. It might be Ace Ventura. He's got so many great ones. It's high on my list. That original Ace Ventura film, it's just fun. It's a good mystery. It's so over the top. It's a movie that would never work with anybody else. So that one might be the one for me. Is it not aged well? I have not watched it in a while. It's a really good point. It's not aged well. That's too bad. Yeah, maybe I would need to rewatch it. It's a movie that would never work with any other actor, right? It would never work. But be there tonight. Lots of fun movie talk, lots of fun laughs, and probably go a little off the rails towards the end. We're going to try to get through 30 movies, which means every couple of minutes we'll probably share one time around what do you have for number 50? Bum, 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 bum. And then just roll for a few minutes so that we have some time. Hey, number 49, bum, 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 bum. Let everybody go around and have a little chat. Could be kind of fun. Truman Show is massively underrated. And that's a great one, Izzy. We're talking about Ace Ventura not necessarily being as good as it was back then. What's going on? Who dat in the chat? Look, all these homies coming through. Happy New Year. Hello, who dat? How's it going? Did you see Nosferatu? I did not, but I heard mixed reviews on that one. What were your thoughts, Drac? Obviously, you have some passion for that for sure. So yeah, that's my tonight. I'll be back in what is that? 9 hours. Back again with those guys, Carlito and everybody tonight, Carlito and Matt and myself. and talking just some of our favorite movies, why a movie might make a list or not. And if we have time, maybe get some honorable mentions thrown in there before we say goodbye. And then you can expect 4 more live streams as we go through the 40 with the 30s and the 20s, the 10s, and then our top 10 of all time as well. Dr. Doom is in the chat. What's going on, Stu? Happy Saturday to you, sir. Nosferatu was a trip. Some people saying good things about it. All right. I'm usually behind on the newest movies for whatever reason. Like I still haven't seen Parasite yet. I suck sometimes. So I tend to be a couple of years behind and wait for stuff to be streaming and then catch it then. Unless it's a big, I mean, the only movies I saw in the theater this year, they're, Deadpool and Wolverine last year. I saw stuff with the kids, stuff with the, comic book related, usually stuff that the kids want to see is usually what I'm going to the theater for. But I'm transitioning out of that age. Now the girls are old enough where, go and just see stuff with the wife, maybe a little more often, theoretically. All right. Is overrated. Okay. But you're an Nolan fan. We can't trust Carlito with anything. All right, gang, I'm going to get to reading some comics, relaxing, enjoying some live streams. I appreciate everyone for coming by. Congratulations to Zarbinski for winning the December giveaway box for the channel members. You can sign up and be a channel member too, and then you'll have a shot to win the next mystery box that I give away at the end of the month. So congrats to Zarbinski, and we'll pass this along to somebody else here for the next month's victory. All right. So thanks everybody for coming, and we'll catch you guys all again soon.